ChatGPT, you can type in, write me an essay on X, and it'll write an essay on X.
Look at a new technology that's making waves in the world of AI. ChatGPT, a language model created by OpenAI, has the ability to respond to prompts in a human-like manner.
Intelligence race heating up. Google is rolling out Bard, a rival to ChatGPT, which can write essays and pass law school exams.
It feels like everyone is talking about ChatGPT. As AI advancements transform the way we interact with machines, it isn't the normal programming languages like Python, Java. We're talking to them with something a lot easier. English. English is now a programming language. In part because of ChatGPT, the world is getting a glimpse at the future, where knowing a specialized language to talk to computers will likely be obsolete in the future. In the future, English may very well be the only thing you need to build the app of your dreams. Let's explore English as the next programming language. So what is ChatGPT? ChatGPT was released November of 2022, and it was building on a technology called GPT-3, which was released back in 2020 from a company called OpenAI. Now, these models are what are called large language models. Specifically, ChatGPT was created to sound fluid, natural, and I'd say it does a pretty good job compared to what was initially released with GPT-3. Now, how did they make this sound so conversational? Humans played a big part. Imagine having a huge data set of conversations so that it's better at understanding how people actually talk and respond to certain answers. Humans played a part in being able to label these so that the model, like GPT-3, could then go through and learn how to sound more like a human. Consider how we use Google today. You might say something like, tell me the weather near me. And that's honestly how someone who's a little less familiar with computers might think to ask this question. You can quickly get a result, but the more you use Google, I think we all learned that you can get that answer faster just by typing in the word weather. We ask questions to Google all the time. An example might be trying to get help with an Excel formula, and we might ask it how to capture 6 digits from Excel. Now, it might give you an answer, but you'd have to search around a little bit, clicking on different search results, going to Stack Overflow, or maybe one of these other places to find the right answer to what we're looking for. But we know there's a better way to search. A better search query using keywords might be something like capture 6 digits, Excel with the word Reddit on the end. Here you can see a lot of different answers from humans that are giving us exactly what we're looking for. In using Google, we figured out that there's words that we can append that make this a much better process. Just by appending the word Reddit to most things that we're trying to have answered is exactly what we want. Now, with ChatGPT, this might be even easier. Using a conversational model like ChatGPT, we can ask it in a conversational tone how to find a 6-digit number in a cell using a formula. Now, what's nice here is that the output that we receive is probably as good as something that we would see in Reddit. Nice step-by-step 1, 2, 3, and give us a good example of something that we could plug right into our Excel formula so that we can find that 6-digit number. What I really like about this answer is the ability to ask it different variations. So if I don't get exactly what I want, I'll just ask the model again and see what it comes up with. What's neat is you can actually have a conversation back and forth to add all of those follow-ups. Now, something that might have taken me with using Google and some other tools, a couple of different searches, reading different pages, I've now been able to do here in less than 30 seconds. I made a video before about creation at the speed of thought, but this really illustrates how helpful these models can be. Before I even get frustrated trying to find the perfect answer, I've moved on to the next challenge: speed with precision. Now, most of us learn through practice. On Google, you can do things faster just by attaching Reddit or maybe .pdf. There's a lot of different search techniques you can use that are more advanced. And like the algorithms before it, ChatGPT also has an abstracted way that you can talk to it. There's a more relevant way that you can ask it questions so that it knows what you're asking exactly. Over time, just like we figured out the best way to get Google to do what we wanted it to, people have started to figure out how to get ChatGPT to give it better answers as well. Enter the term prompt engineering. Now, prompt engineering just means that we're reading the prompt that we put into OpenAI. Now, it might be most obvious to see this prompt engineering with something like DALL-E from OpenAI, which is a generative art model. Using different modifiers, you can see different ways that you can get output that's actually more in line with what you're expecting. I like to look at examples from Midjourney. What's amazing is that for this picture, you can see the prompt here is fairly complex. You need to know exactly what you were looking for. You'd have to experiment quite a lot so that you could get the prompt of something that I would think is as basic as portrait of a woman standing in front of her personal robot. Prompt engineering really has become a skill to allow you to harness the power of these models and build exactly what you're looking for. This is the robot version of the English language. It's too complex. Even in just the short time that I've been working on this video, you can start to see companies like Microsoft who've launched New Bing integrated with OpenAI that are thinking about how to make this easier so that you don't have to know this secret language to get what you want from the model. An example that was given by Greg Brockman, one of the founders of OpenAI, was explaining that there's different toggles where you're able to choose the tone, the format, or the length that you're expecting to get. All of this you might be able to do with prompt engineering, but this is just an easy UI trick to do the same thing on the back end so that you're able to know exactly what the model can do. The hardest part is knowing what can you actually ask the model to output. And that is not something that's so easy to understand. Just like old computer programming languages will likely fade away, prompt engineering will all fade away as these models get better. As these models learn our language and our voice, the chatter in Silicon Valley speaks for itself on the optimism of what this technology could release. So, where does this all go? No one can be quite sure, but the future is looking exciting. Here's to hoping the future is easier to use, more accessible, and as creativity unleashing as it looks to be. I, for one, am so excited to use these tools and can't wait till I can just speak to these models in plain English. If you liked this video, please hit subscribe, give it a share, and thanks for watching. Catch you next time.